It was a story that gripped the nation.
18-month-old little girl fell into an abandoned well in Midland, Texas.
For 58 hours, an entire community and the world refused to give up.
There was no easy solution to pull her out, but time was running out. After the first day, the family and rescue workers grew more desperate.
Waiting for rescuers to free little Jessica McClure.
Every second matters, every decision counts, and in the face of darkness, heroes rise.
It's a story that has captured the hearts of many Americans, and we'll have a lot of information.
We got to be very careful. We don't want to injure the child either. So,
with daylight fading, rescuers are stepping up their efforts to free the child. At one point, a paramedic was able to reach inside and touch Jessica and even talk to her, but they've not been able to get her out yet.
One day passed, then a second day, still trapped underground.
The miracle that captured a nation, the rescue that proved the power of human resilience, experienced the story that still echoes throughout history. The morning of October 14th, 1987 started like any other in Midland, Texas. Sunshine bathed the quiet neighborhood where 18-month-old Jessica McClure was playing in her aunt's backyard. It was a beautiful day, filled with a slight breeze that moved through the air, making the temperature perfect for enjoying the pleasures of being outside. Jessica was having the time of her life, playing with her family members, getting messy with dirt in her hair, being a kid on the cusp of toddlerhood. In Midland, Texas, the cost of living is generally lower than the national average. Housing, groceries, and healthcare are less expensive in Midland as well. It was considered a quiet town. Nothing really happens there until the fall. The giggles of a carefree toddler suddenly stopped. In an instant, Jessica had disappeared. Reba Sissy McClure, Jessica's mother, was in the backyard of her sister's house when the tragedy occurred. She did not realize it happened at first until she heard her daughter's cry, muffled and distant. Frantic and afraid, she quickly searched the yard until she found the source. A narrow, abandoned well pipe, barely 8 inches wide, had trapped her precious cargo. Jessica had fallen in. A desperate call to 911 set in motion one of the most remarkable rescues the world had ever seen. Suddenly, the streets were filled with blaring sounds of sirens in the quiet town of Midland, Texas. Firefighters, paramedics, and police arrived within minutes, but no one could simply reach in and pull her out. There were 3 challenges the rescue team faced: a narrow well shaft, the risk of the entire well collapsing, and the limited time due to Jessica's condition. She was wedged 22 feet underground, trapped in an impossible space between the earth and the cold. Worse still, the well was too narrow for any adult to climb down. The firefighters, paramedics, and the police were against the clock. If they do not get Jessica out quickly, her mother will never get to hold her sweet baby girl again. News of the trapped toddler spread fast. Soon, television crews descended on the small town, broadcasting the crisis to millions.
Here is crowded with cars, well-wishers, curiosity seekers coming by here, wanting to have information on that little girl.
As time was against them, authorities quickly came up with a plan. Firemen and police developed a plan to drill a parallel shaft to the well where Jessica was lodged and drill another horizontal cross tunnel to rescue her. Enlisting the help of local oil drillers, officials helped to free McClure quickly, but then discovered the well was surrounded by rock. The rock was thick and unyielding, so a specialized drilling team was called in. Specifically, a mining engineer arrived, and he did not come empty-handed. He brought knowledge of a relatively new technology called water jet cutting, which was ultimately used to cut through the rock. Workers toiled through the night, inch by inch, against the unforgiving earth. 45 hours after Jessica fell into the well, the adjacent shaft and cross tunnel were complete. During the drilling, rescuers could hear Jessica singing a Disney classic, Winnie the Pooh. Inside the well, rescuers fed an oxygen line into the pipe to keep her breathing, and they listened intently to her faint whimpers, proof that she was still alive. But as the hours dragged on, Jessica stopped making noise. On the second day, experts devised a delicate plan to break through the final wall of rock separating them from baby Jessica. Time was running out. Jessica had been trapped for over 50 hours. A roofing contractor by the name of Ron Short volunteered to go down the shaft. He had been born without collarbones and could collapse his shoulders to work in tight confines. The team considered his offer, but ultimately EMT paramedic Robert O'Donnell was the one who descended the shaft. What he saw stunned him. Her tiny body folded in a crouched position, her leg twisted above her head. Dirt and dust caked her face, and her fingers were clenched in tiny fists. As Jessica emerged into the daylight, covered in dirt but very much alive, cheers erupted from the crowd.
Eyes open, I think. I see some dried blood on her cheek. I think her eyes are open.
Reporters captured the moment, a firefighter cradling the rescued baby, her head wrapped in gauze, her body weakened but her spirit unbroken. She had survived 58 hours alone in the dark, trapped beneath the earth. Against all odds, she had endured. With the incredible rescue of baby Jessica catching national news, then President Ronald Reagan said everybody in America became godmothers and godfathers of Jessica while this was going on. Following baby Jessica's rescue on October 16, 1987, doctors feared they would have to amputate Jessica's foot due to damage from loss of blood flow sustained from her leg being elevated above her head for the 58.5 hours she was stuck in the well. They decided to try hyperbaric therapy to avoid full amputation. In the end, surgeons only had to amputate a toe due to gangrene caused by loss of circulation while she was in the well. Jessica carries a scar on her forehead where her head rubbed against the well casing and, despite the incident and 15 subsequent related surgeries, retains no first-hand memory of the events. For the rescuers, the ordeal left a permanent mark, specifically for the man who pulled Jessica out of the well, Robert O'Donnell, who struggled with the emotional toll of those intense hours underground. He developed post-traumatic stress disorder after the rescue and later struggled to cope with the abrupt decline in recognition fame that he had experienced in the immediate aftermath of his heroic act. He died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Jessica graduated from Greenwood High School in May 2004 in a small community near Midland, Texas. On January 28, 2006, she married Daniel Morales at the Church of Christ in No Trees, Texas, about 40 miles from Midland. They met at a daycare center where she worked with her sister. They have 2 children, a son born in 2007 and a daughter born in 2009. When Jessica turned 25 on March 26, 2011, she received a trust fund composed of donations from around the world, which she discussed using for her children's college and which she used to purchase her home, less than 2 miles from the well into which she fell.